Hey friends, this is T again with another reaction video. And today we're going to be doing a reaction on why they're trying to make women in games ugly. Okay, this is by the Critical Gamer. He also goes by the Critical Drinker as well. I guess he is a gamer and he plays lots of games, and he decided to do a video on this. Now, if you're not in the know, what's going on right now is there's a lot of companies are trying to turn all the women in the games unattractive because they hate the male gaze. This is what the rumor is. Now, guys don't want to play games like that, and women don't want to play games like that. You would think they would learn from Victoria's Secret that women don't want to see unattractive women. They want to see models, top models in these shows. And the same thing with these games. Now, there's a demo that came out called a Stellar Blade. Beautiful women in this thing, beautiful. And I watched the reactions of these gamers play the demo, but I watched mostly the women, and the women loved the fact that she was gorgeous. They like seeing gorgeous women, right? When they go on Instagram or TikTok, the first thing they are attracted to are beautiful women. They love that. They're not attracted to unattractive women or women that, just seriously average or whatever you want to call it, right? They don't want to see that. They want to see beautiful women. That's the whole point of the reason why they follow people like Paris Hilton or Kim Kardashian, right? They want to see beautiful women. They don't want to see anything else, right? They seem to think that it's all about the men. Only the men want to see the beautiful women, even though there's mostly men that play these games, which doesn't make any sense why you want to piss them off, because they are the ones that paying for the stuff. But the women want to see it too. They liked it. Every video that I saw that these women were playing the demo of Stellar Blade, they loved it. They always mentioned how beautiful she was, and they was amazed by it, right? But for some reason, the gaming industry don't want this, okay? And it's generally towards men, right? So it's a lot of battles going on right now. People say this and people say that. A lot of stuff is going on with the situation, and I just can't see how the gaming industry is going to attack their own gamers, man. The people that buying the games. It never makes sense. That's probably why most of these cities, democratic cities, of course, are going down at the moment, right? They losing money. People trying to leave. They're making it more difficult now for people to leave. The shows are losing money. The movies, the TVs, series, they losing money left and right. And it's getting to the point now that they just blaming the audience, the people that's paying for it. It's their fault because they want to accept this garbage. Okay. Slowly it seemed to be changing back, but very slowly. I mentioned X-Men 97. I'm hoping they don't destroy that, because so far it's good. The last episode 5 was amazing. Okay, but I have a feeling that once it becomes popular and they get enough people watching it, that they're gonna start slipping in a lot of crazy. I get that feeling. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I get that feeling. Okay. All right, I just want to go ahead and get into this reaction because I'm really excited. I love this guy because he's so funny. Okay, but before we do, please like, subscribe, and share this video, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. That way you know whenever we come out with new videos. Okay. All right, let's get with it.
The best things about video games is that they allow us to transcend the petty limitations of the real world, creating fantastical landscapes that defy logic,
I grew up, I guess you could consider poor, not dirt poor, but pretty poor. And the money that I did get, I went to play video games, and you get lost in that. And there's certain joys in life that you can have that makes you forget your situation. You didn't think about being poor when you were able to go play games or whatever. Just distract yourself, okay, of all the horrible things that's going on in the world. And people want to get lost in the game. I don't believe you should get too lost to the point where you don't do nothing else but play games. But I do understand why people feel like games are very important, because I played games a lot when I was younger, okay, and I do want to get back into it. But for some, like I say, the little areas in the world that people want to run to and avoid all the crazy, it seems like they just keep following you. And okay, he wants to go over there. Let's follow them over there and screw up what they're doing over there. Okay, they want to go over here. Let's follow them over here and destroy what they want over here. Any joys that they have, let's just keep on following them and destroying it and make it seem like we're trying to do a good thing, which is not the reason why they're doing it, okay? It's just crazy.
Terrifying monsters, awe-inspiring wonders, and iconic characters bound only by the limitations of the human imagination. It truly is the very purest form of creativity, unless of course you happen to be a Western game developer, in which case you're...
Oh, I like that. I saw little clips of that. Beautiful. But it seems like the Western people here, probably mainly women, hate this. They want to see stuff like this themselves. They just don't want us looking at it. That's the problem. They don't want us enjoying ourselves. It seems like they hate that. Any distractions that we have, they seem to want to just destroy it.
Your escapist fantasy entertainment absolutely has to reflect the world we live in today.
That I gotta go back for a second, man. Hold on a second.
Case your escapist fantasy entertainment absolutely has to reflect the world.
I gotta go back. This is the picture I always end up seeing, right? Everybody posted this picture, right? This person look like an old man, okay, with a wig on. It look like Popeye the Sailor Man, okay? You put a pipe in her mouth, she definitely would look like Popeye, okay? Every time I see this picture, man, I roll out of my seat. I think it's so funny. But see what I'm saying? They not even just getting an average looking woman, right? They went straight to this woman. She's supposed to be young. She looked like an old 60-year-old lady, man, if not a 60-year-old man. But you can tell, and from my understanding, they would get beautiful models to pose for this stuff, and then they'll dumb it down, and then they'll jump all over Stellar Blade for it being unrealistic when they actually use a real model to do that game. Okay, but you see how hypocritical they are, how crazy that is. And they doing this on the purpose of control. It had nothing to do with the fact that they hate the fact that we like beautiful women, even though somewhat they do hate it. But it's more about controlling us. That's what it's about, really.
We live in today. The world we live in today. The world we live in today. We live in today. We live in today. You've probably noticed that there's been a bit of a shift in the portrayal of video game characters in recent years, particularly the female ones. A process that probably has a far more technical name, but
who would want to play that game, man? You know, when I saw the demo for Stellar Blade, right, I thought that was gorgeous and definitely something to look at while you're playing. But the game had to be good as well, too, right? So it's a combination of things. The game had to be good, and also the people. I'm not just talking about the women, but also the men. They got to be like characters that you find, you know, on the up level here, like the superheroes. You know what I'm saying? You don't want no big superhero trying to do something. No women want to see that, and no man want to see that, right? But it's a problem when men don't want to see it. That's the problem.
But which a simple man like myself can best describe as uglification. It's like gaming is somehow de-evolving even as technology and production costs rise to ask.
Wait a minute, what the freak is that? Did she might be pregnant or something? Oh my goodness, look at these people. Is that even a woman? Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that there are muscular women out there, man, but even they try to look feminine. They put on makeup. They do their hair right. They do all this kind of stuff. They're not trying to look like men. They look attractive, even though a lot of them are like really, really bulky. But it's even then, they still try to look attractive. It's like these women are going out of their way not to be. And that's not natural normally with women that want to be feminine, okay? I want to be specific about that, right? Even tomboys don't go this bad, okay? Really.
Production costs rise to astronomical levels, producing characters that look less human and more physically repulsive with each new release.
A ruined and terrible form of life.
I mean, Jesus, look at the state of it. I don't think anyone wants to go on an adventure with this girl.
Nope.
A quick glance at your average AAA development page is like...
Oh my God. It's just they going out of their way to make this tit look ugly, boy. You know what I'm saying? It's like women should feel insulted by it, especially the women that are the models that's doing this, man. Look at this. It's like it's almost like they messing with you. But unfortunately, they're costing these companies tons and tons of money. Now, if it was just something that they didn't care about making money from, then, this would be just a joke. Nobody would care. But, when people spend money, they want to spend money on quality things. And for some reason, they're trying to make you spend money on things you don't want to spend it on. And they're trying to force you to do it, okay? There's no reason for them to have they models in these games look like this. What the freak, is that a monster? Look at that. Is this a joke? This gotta be a joke, man. This is insane. This is really insane.
Taking a walk down your average high street in Scotland. The faces you see vaguely correspond to your understanding of what human beings look like, but the features, proportions, and arrangements are so far off that you're left with a disturbingly intense urge to get out of there as quickly as possible and never look back. And it's interesting to note that this phenomenon seems to be confined to one half of the population.
Now this must be Mary Jane. I remember this. Now this is supposed to be based on a model, okay? But it's just so happens that one of the writers looked just like her. Okay? Is that a coincidence? Who knows, right?
Only, almost like it's intentional or something.
Yeah.
The problem seems to have been bubbling away for a while now, but like an
That's what I'm talking about. This is Stella Blade right here. And she's not the antagonist in this, but she also one of the girls in it. Gorgeous. People want to see beautiful things. That's why people hang up pictures in their houses. That's why people put flowers in their front yard and backyard. That's why they paint their houses. That's why, they have decorations. People just want to be around beautiful things. And that including people, right?
Explosive diuretic fart, it could only be held back for so long before it made its violent entry into the world, destroying a pair of your best Calvin Kleins in the process. And the explosive release finally came with the advent of the Sweet Baby debacle, which has shed light on
and there she is. Look at that in all its glory, okay? Beautiful. And it seems like the woke hate this. The people in the West hate this. And they hate the fact that Japan has put out this material, and all the money that used to go to them is now going to Japan. And it's not helping our economy because it's almost like they want to destroy everything here and just outsource everything else. That's my interpretation here, okay? Because I had no reason why this is your competition and yet you want to destroy your own company. They do be criticizing them. They criticize her, saying that's unrealistic. No women look like that, when this actually was based off a real woman, a real model, okay? But they want to just go ahead and chastise it. And the company clapped back. They were like, no, this is the real model. And then they want to say, no, this is a bunch of guys that made this. And then he did a group picture of them. I don't have the picture right now, but they did a group picture of all the people that worked on this game, and a whole lot of them were women. Women. Because women want to see this. They don't want to see that other thing that looked like Popeye.
A lot of things that Western game developers probably would have rather kept secret. But there it is, all the same, and now that it's out there, it's fair game for people like me to comment on. So just like on my main channel, where I talked about the problems blighting modern Hollywood movies, I figured I'd make a video series here about why modern gaming sucks. And truly, where better to start with any good book than the cover? Part 1. Everyone's fucking ugly. Now, rather than just point and laugh at how ugly characters have become in recent years, let's see if we can break this one down scientifically. And that being the case, the first major problem seems to be a general rejection of femininity and female beauty in modern game development.
I noticed, and this is what I think too, this is another assumption. There's other reasons why I believe they're doing this, but I also believe a lot of women that's in power right now. We're talking about people like Kathleen Kennedy and some other ones that I've seen, right? They ain't the most attractive people in the world, okay? A lot of women in power aren't that attractive. There's a few, you can go to the Kim Kardashians of the world or whatever, but a lot of them aren't really that attractive. So now they want to put people that look like them in these games. It's like they don't want you. That's why they destroy pictures. A bit like Mona Lisa or somebody like that, beautiful women, they destroy it. It's like everything they want, they hate it. They hate anything that's attractive. And it's not just women. We talking about paintings. We talking about sculptures. We talking about anything. It's like everywhere they go, they want to destroy anything that looks good. Buildings, landscapes, all that. Burning it down. All this junk, man. It's just crazy stuff. They just want a miserable world because a lot of these people are miserable, and they want to bring everybody else along on the ride.
A perfect example of this is the character model for MJ in the 2 Spider-Man games.
Yeah.
It's the same character in the same game series made by the same dev studio, but with a radically different appearance in each one. In the first game, you can quite clearly see the facial model has all the traits commonly associated with traditional femininity. Rounded facial structure.
Now, she isn't the most attractive, but she looks feminine, like he said, and she is average. But she still looks like a freaking woman, okay? She don't look like no old woman or papa.
Full lips, large eyes, and a small nose.
Yeah.
Now compare it to MJ in the second game, and well, I think you can spot the differences. This version has a large, prominent chin, a wider and stronger jawline, thinner lips, heavier eyebrows, and eyes that are proportionally smaller because
There are women that look like this, okay? There are women out there that does look like this. Matter of fact, I mentioned there's a writer that looks just like this, okay? And, you know, I understand that they're going through difficult times. Not everybody is born to be a model. This is just the way life is. I'm not a freaking model. I would like to be, but I'm not. You know, you just got to live with what God giving you. That's it. You can't do anything about it. I mean, she could get plastic surgery if she want. But other than that, live with what you got and just do the best you can, right? Find somebody that is attracted to you so you can love. You don't have to integrate your shortcomings and your anger and your thing against men into your work. And that's what they doing. Women, I don't want to say it because it's going to sound sexist as crap if I say something like that. But it seems like there's a certain sex that seem to want to bring their problems to work. Okay? That's all I'm going to say on that. And that's just crazy.
the rest of her face is now bigger. In short, she's got a far more masculine appearance than before. Interesting. Or how about Aloy from the Horizon games, a series that I actually quite enjoy. You can see in the image on the left how she looked in the original game.
Oh, yeah, she looks cute. Right here. That's cute. She looked more tomboyish, but, you know, she's cute still, right? This, on the other hand, that she just looked like she ate too many burgers or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That she kind of slacked off. This is what she used to look like, and then she just didn't give a crap anymore, right? But you can tell that they went out of their way to make it look different.
Game. Not hyper feminine by any stretch, because she's trying to survive in a primitive post-apocalyptic world where cosmetics aren't exactly easy to come by, but still she's recognizably female with the softer facial structure typically associated with women. The image on the right, on the other hand, is so masculine that if you were to give her some facial hair, you'd basically be left with a man, and a handsome man at that. Same deal with the main character from Star Wars Outlaws. Prominent chin that would make even Sergeant Slaughter jealous, a wide, strong jawline, thin lips, and small eyes. Jesus, it's like these characters all rolled off the same bland assembly line.
Yeah.
It's even more perplexing when you see what her actress looks like.
Oh no, you are kidding me, right? I wonder if these women know what they get into. Why even bother to get models to do this if you're gonna make them look like this? Why? I mean, don't get me wrong. I know these models gonna take the job because it's probably decent pay or whatever. They need the job. But why get a woman that looks like this and then turn her into that? I mean, like, whoever's casting these women, obviously whoever's developing the game is lying to the person casting these women. They should just go ahead and just be honest. Just get some average or below average looking women and we'll just throw them in the game. Why even bother to even hire these women? And she should feel insulted. It's like taking a picture of her and then turning it into something that doesn't even look like her, man. I would have never guessed these two were the same people. Never.
I could go on and on with this stuff all day, but you get the basic idea.
Yeah,
the real question, though, is why? Why are Western developers so against the idea of femininity and female beauty in games?
So what's the point?
I mean, if I was a cynical man, I might suggest that most game studios are infested with jealous, physically repulsive land whales who can't stand to be reminded that they've broken more mirrors than Conan the Barbarian. But let's go a little bit deeper than that. It's definitely not a technology problem, that's for sure. Games have been
Look, let's scroll back a little bit here. And this is the point I was making. Look at that. Ain't nobody that looks like that with a body like that and a head that small. Okay, it's unrealistic. But this is a freaking game. Of course, in some cases they're gonna exaggerate stuff. It is what it is. It's a game. It's like a cartoon. You know, you see a lot of cartoons don't look real because it's a freaking cartoon. It's not meant to be serious, but for some reason they want to, dive into any type of fantasy and just turn it into garbage.
Sure, games have been capable of rendering accurate facial scans of real actors for decades at this point. I mean, look at Julia Voth from the Resident Evil remake. That game's more than 20 years old now and the resemblance is uncanny. Yeah. Or Ellen Page in Beyond Two Souls, which came out in 2013. Or Hayden Panettiere from Until Dawn from 2015. Or Keanu Reeves from Cyberpunk.
Oh, yeah, that was perfect.
And as for today, well, all you need to do is take a look at games like Final Fantasy Rebirth or Stellar Blade to see that we're more than capable of rendering beautiful characters on screen. No, the issue here is a creative one. But why exactly? Well, there seems to be this weird assumption that gamers can or won't take a female character seriously if they find...
Now, I really want to hear what he had to say about this. I really want to listen. Because I wonder if he's making the same assumptions that I'm making, okay? So...
them physically attractive, so the only solution is to reduce or remove any element of attractiveness and sensuality, producing bland, ugly, unappealing models that nobody wants to look at. For me...
Which doesn't make any sense still. Why would they keep the guys looking the same? They're not doing this to the guys, right? But they want to bring more women to these games, thinking, well, if we just make the women look unattractive and keep the men attractive, that'll make these women want to play the games. But this is the funny thing. There's a lot of arguments in the red pill about why women wear makeup. Why do they put on their clothes? And a lot of the times the women say they either do it for themselves or they just want to do it around their friends. And I think that is somewhat, understandable. Yeah, of course, they want to attract men as well, but they're all in competition. They love seeing beautiful women. They love being friends with beautiful women. This is natural for them to do this, okay? And so they don't want to just play games with people that they don't. It's almost like biological. They don't want to sit there and play a long game looking at a woman that's not attractive or somebody that they don't want to be around. Women don't go out of their way looking for other unattractive women. I think they care more about the women in the game than they do the guys. You know what I'm saying? You can put an average looking dude on the game, but if you put a really attractive woman on the game, I think women would still enjoy it.
This is a deeply flawed premise on two levels. One, because characters like Lara Croft, Ada Wong, Jill Valentine, Tifa Lockhart and Aerith Gainsborough are all conventionally beautiful, but they've all stood the test of time as well because they were more than just their physical appearance. They were all genuinely interesting characters that people liked and identified with. Their beauty didn't undermine that, it enhanced it. Yeah. The second reason is, well, down to simple human nature. We as people generally prefer to look at physically attractive individuals. Yeah. We instinctively seek out beauty, we're drawn to it, and we enjoy being around it. Why do you think so many Hollywood actors or models or pop stars are conventionally good looking? It's the same reason we don't go to art galleries to look at children's finger paintings. We want to experience something higher and better, something aspirational. I know that's a tough pill to swallow, but there it is. The truth of the matter is that nobody enjoys looking at ugly people. Yeah, we know that most of us don't look like Chris Hemsworth or Sydney Sweeney, and that's okay.
See, that's the thing what they using against us. We shouldn't call people ugly, we shouldn't call people fat or whatever the situation is, right? These are descriptive things about it, and it's difficult to get around because you have to describe something. You can't say something is beautiful unless you say something is ugly. You can't say something is thin unless you got something to compare it to. It's unfortunately, and you shouldn't get in anybody's face and call them fat or whatever. It's just descriptive. This person is overweight. This person is not conventionally attractive. Maybe that's nicer to say it that way, but it doesn't change the fact when somebody say you're fat or you're ugly that it's not accurate. Now, it could be subjective in certain situations, and we may disagree, but it is what it is, right? But they want to do away with it. They want to try to say everybody's tens and stuff like that. Only when it comes down to women, of course, right? Can't say that about men, but only when it comes down to women.
We know we'll never have a body like Chris Redfield or Lara Croft, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
Why? Because we're not narcissistic idiots who need to see ourselves reflected in everything that we see and do, or have all our hang-ups and insecurities validated by pulling everyone down to our level.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, human beings are a lot more mature and resilient than that. The other thing that strikes me is that a lot of the shitty modern tropes from Hollywood are starting to spill over into the video game industry, particularly when it comes to blurring the lines between men and women. Male characters in movies and TV shows today are often depicted as neurotic, insecure, emotionally fragile, cowardly, verbose, and self-deprecating.
The change, he made a good point. The change that they do make in men, they make them more feminine, more soft. That's the change they make in men, okay? They don't make these men ugly. They just make these men soft, okay? Like Harry Styles, right? He's conventionally attractive man, right? But he acts soft. I don't know if he does it on purpose or if it's just the way he is, but he put out that soft thing. Timothy Chalamet, whatever his name is, right? The guy that play on Doom, right? He looks soft. He's considered attractive, but he looks soft and he acts soft. He almost acts feminine. And that's the change they do when it comes down to the men. But when it comes down to the women, they make these guys look, these women look like dudes. Popeye. Y'all know the picture I'm talking about. Popeye, okay? That's what they do. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to switch it up.
Really lacking in agency or the ability to assert themselves in any particular situation. Women, on the other hand, are now written to be stoic, confident, assertive, arrogant, and aggressive, which are the same exact traits that were once considered toxic in men. They're basically trying to turn them into men, or at least a warped parody of what they think masculine behavior is, and I think that mentality is bleeding into gaming now as well. Female characters are being redesigned to look more and more like men, because game studios incorrectly associate masculinity with strength and femininity with weakness, rather than seeing both as just being different paths to the same destination.
I love the way he explains stuff, man. That is so perfect the way he just said that. We all know this, but the fact that he put it in the words in a way everybody can definitely catch on to, love the way he said that.
Desperately want to create tough, independent, empowered women, because let's face it, that's pretty much the only kind of characters they're allowed to write now, and because they lack the skill and imagination to construct interesting characters with actual feminine characteristics, their only solution is to churn out women who look, talk, and act like the toxic men they despise so much.
That's crazy.
It's actually kind of funny when you think about it. Their own flawed worldview created a problem that they can only solve by replicating the same exact problem that they created in the first place.
Son of a...
Fucking genius. And the thing is, who is any of this supposed to appeal to? Men certainly don't like it, because seeing their favourite characters turned into the Giga Chad meme to score social media points and court an audience that doesn't exist is irritating and depressing. Women don't seem to care much for it either, because I'm willing to bet that not many of them aspire to look like this, or this, or this.
See, this is how they try to get you, right? They make you, they get you. And they can't do it with streaming services. You catch on after a while. I've been on this earth for a little bit, right? They make you go out and buy an expensive game like PlayStation 5 or something like that, right? And then they give you good stuff at the beginning. So you all happy. So you excited. You're hooked. And then all of a sudden they start introducing this stuff right here. And now they like, you don't got no other choice now. You bought that expensive game. Now you got to keep buying games. But what they don't realize is if these people aren't enjoying these games, not only are they going to make fun of it on YouTube, but they're going to put these PlayStations in the corner and let it collect dust. And two, they know you're going to change your mind and do the right thing and make games people actually want to see. Oh, this is a worse picture than the one earlier right here, okay? Like I say, man, there's some men that's attracted to this, okay? Not a problem. I don't have a problem with that. She is not considered ugly. I don't think so, right? But this is not what you want to see when you play a video game. This is not. Women don't want to see it. Men don't want to see it. It's just crazy stuff.
Female gamers aren't going to feel sad and excluded just because they've seen Ada Wong killing monsters while executing a perfect backflip in a ball gown. Instead, they're going to see a cool, awesome, beautiful woman kicking ass and doing awesome things. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's the whole point of playing video games, in fact. They're not supposed to reflect the real world with all its tedious, mundane problems and restrictions. They're supposed to represent something higher, something better, something more fun.
Yeah.
They're supposed to represent what we aspire to be, not what we're stuck with in our day-to-day lives. And the more you try to fuck with that, the more you lose sight of the very purpose of your industry. And well, the more your customers are going to abandon you in favour of something better. Why do you think the Stellar Blade demo made such an impact? It's because the developers were smart enough to give their customers exactly what they want. A kick-ass beautiful woman in a skin-tight bodysuit. And in turn, gamers saw it as a giant fuck you to all the prissy, sanctimonious, fun-killing developers that are slowly strangling Western gaming. And if there's one thing that gamers love doing most of all, it's saying fuck you to people who try to control and lecture them. And
See, this is the thing, right? They probably happy that the West is doing this because it's just gonna make them more money. But I still feel like they trying to destroy everything here, put people out of work in the West so they can start, getting all their stuff from people from the East to other countries. Like they did everything else. And these people don't realize this is what's happening. They finding out. Now, if you look at the schools that's going on, we're talking about colleges right now, right? When they had the DEI offices and stuff like that, they thought that their jobs were like permanent, that they can have these jobs forever. But they laying them off now. Laying them off. They closing down a lot of these DEI offices now. Because it's just not producing anything, right? It's not. But this is what these people thinking they're going to have these jobs permanently. And it's not going to happen. And the same people that's doing this to these games right now, they think that, you know what, if we turn it into garbage, that we're going to be able to do this forever. But after a while, you're giving the company the excuse to fire your tail and to replace you. They might not hire a migrant or anything like that, right? They probably just go overseas and start hiring people, buying companies, and let them run it. And now you got no job. Look what's happening in Hollywood. Writers are losing jobs. They got to get gig work now. It's crazy. I understand what the companies are doing because they trying to get cheaper work but with better quality. So it seemed like they're trying to make excuses for not to hire people in the West anymore. People are losing freaking jobs, man. And for some reason, they don't see it coming. It's crazy stuff, boy.
For now at least, Eastern developers still seem to understand that fact. That's the great thing about the free market, you see. The customers can always go elsewhere, and if you don't change course pretty soon, you might just find that out to your costs. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Yeah, man. It's I love this guy, man. Y'all definitely need to watch him. I'm gonna leave him in the link below. That way you can watch it uninterrupted. But he made some great points, right? I mean, he always doing his videos because not only does he do great videos, he does his research. He's really, really good at it. I even seen him doing interviews and stuff, right? Really, really cool guy. Like I said, man, they destroying their own companies, man. That's all they doing. They just destroying it. And they don't realize that these people gonna be out of the job, man. They don't realize that. And they're gonna be crying, just like they're doing it in these colleges right now.
Go away now.
Okay, I was trying to get this picture. But anyway, I'm just saying that they gonna be crying because after a while, because they think it's cute. I heard this company called Black Girl Gamers or something like that. They also involved in this particular situation. They don't realize that these companies gonna eventually drop them. They don't realize that. They should look around at what's going on in the world at this point. All these people that started to do a lot of these DEI stuff and all these woke activist crazy stuff are losing their jobs now and getting replaced either by migrants or they just taking things overseas. Because you're giving them the excuse. They're allowing these people to come into their stores, break in, steal their stuff. No cops show up until all the people are gone. And now they're closing down all the grocery stores and everything else. It's like you got to really see what's happening in the world. And you want to be a part of it. Look, you can choose whatever you like. You can believe whatever you want. But I'm telling you right now, man, if they continue doing this stuff with these games, eventually these companies gonna say, look, we're losing money. We're losing money. We need to do something. We need to do something to save our company. Guess what they're gonna start doing? They're gonna do the same thing Elon Musk did when he brought Twitter. He's gonna start laying off the people that causing all these problems. And the same people gonna get online crying about they lost their job and pretend like they don't understand why they lost it. It's crazy stuff, man. Crazy, crazy world, okay? All right, I really appreciate all of you coming by. Thanks again. This is T and peace.